Hello there and a warm welcome and thank you for joining us once again here in Sunrise at Sea. You're just in time for your lifestyle segment. And this morning we're going to be doing milkshakes. Now it's the time of the year, it's the season, it's Christmas, and you want to make something special for just not your family, not even your loved ones, but probably you're looking for something to even take to an event. So this morning I'm going to be showing you how to make 2 milkshakes. Now the first one we're going to make is called After 8. First things first, some of the things that you actually need is that you need milk, you need mint, you need ice cream, and of course you need a bit of chocolate syrup. So what I have here right now is just a few mint leaves. I don't know if you can see right that. I have some mint, and I'm going to put this mint here. And then I have a glass of milk, fresh out of the fridge, and I'm going to put it here. And of course, I have my big bowl of ice cream, yeah? And what I'm going to do first is, the thing about food is that it has to be designed in a way whereby you'll want to eat it. When even it comes to a milkshake, it has to be very encouraging, very suggestive, something that you want to take. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to get chocolate syrup, and this is what I'm going to do. Just watch closely because then after I'm going to explain. And I'm going to make it go round the glass like this, and just make sure it's going round. Okay. Just making sure the glass is not so messy. So when that is done, you make sure it has gone round. And then you're going to get some sprinkles. And we're going to put them around the glass. So this is what we are going to do. The reason why I'm doing this is for decorative purposes. It's just to make sure that what you're taking and even how it looks as amazing as possible. So the reason why we actually put the chocolate syrup on the glass is so that these sprinkles are able to stick on it, yeah? So I'm just gonna wipe it a bit and just make sure everything looks nice. Yes, so when that is done, you have to make sure that the glass doesn't have all sorts of chocolate on it and stuff. And you see some of our sprinkles entered the glass, so I have to remove them. So it just remains like this. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this and pour it inside the glass. This is still just for designing purposes. You'll be able to understand why I'm doing this. So when I've done this, I'm going to let it settle here for a bit, and then I'm going to get my mint, I'm going to get my milk, and then I'm going to get my chocolate syrup, and we're going to blend them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour in some mint leaves. Of course, those have been washed, they have been soaked in vinegar, so they are good, they're healthy, no bacteria, no Omicron, no COVID-19. And then we're going to get chocolate syrup. So what we are making right now is basically we're making a milkshake, and it's called After 8. This is something that you can make probably early in the morning, or you can make for your kids even as they wake up to go to school, or you can just make it for anyone. You can make it for your grandparents, you can make it for your ex, I don't know, whoever you want to make it for. Then you're going to get a bit of ice cream. And the thing about the ice cream is that it has to be a scoop. So we're going to scoop it, a full scoop. Be as generous as possible. Okay, that's 1 scoop. The scoops can be 3 to 4, depending on how many servings you want to make. Now this serving is maybe for about, okay, let me say 2 people, because of course I have to test it at the end. Okay, when that is done, you have to make sure that all of it has entered, because then the measuring would go wrong. After that, you add in some milk, my favorite. Just make sure you do not pour it, so I'm going to just pour it at once. Yeah, that looks good already. Just a bit more. So when you're putting in the milk, you have to make sure that you put in very little, because then the milkshake has to be as thick as possible. So it depends. Do you want something thick? Do you want something light? I like my milkshakes thick, so I will put in just this small amount. So right now I'm going to blend. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to blend. depending, do you want your milkshake smooth or do you want it with a bit of particles? I like my milkshake very smooth, so I'm going to blend it as much as I can to make sure that all those particles are out and completely gone. So it just keeps on going. And a milkshake is not just any fancy drink. It has lots of proteins, it has lots of goodness. I love milk, so it's definitely something you want to make also for your kids. I'm sure by now you notice why I put the designs around the glass, because it has made such a beautiful formation. After that, a drink is not a drink, or a smoothie is not a drink, or even a milkshake is not a drink without a touch of some whipped cream. Are you ready? It's Christmas on Sunrise at Sea. If you're not waking up to Sunrise at Sea, what are you doing? Like, we have all the good stuff happening on this show. Yes. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I know I'm doing it right. It looks good to me. So I'm just going to make a mountain of it. Okay. Great. When that is done, because I have over too much kajaja or what, but I'm going to add a few sprinkles also, because I want to, because this is my milkshake. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce you that now I am officially the milkshake chef, right? This is all done, and I'm going to get my straw and just put it in the middle right there. Ladies and gentlemen, the Christmas milkshake after 8 is done, and I'm going to be doing the honors, of course, my favorite part, okulia. We wish you a Merry Christmas, guys. This is amazing. It tastes so good as it goes down my throat. It's something that you can actually take on a very hot day. On a very hot day, you want to make this and probably even make sure that the ice cream is as cold as possible to make sure it's refreshing. But also it's good for nutrition because it has a bit of milk, it has a bit of ice cream. So if your kid is such a sweet tooth, this is the right thing to do. So after making our after 8 milkshake, we are now going to make the mixed berries. Now this is such goodness of ice cream and of course a mixture of strawberries. I do not know if you love strawberries, but strawberries are by far my favorite fruit. So because I used the blender already, I need to get it washed. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make sure that everything is washed. And if you're just joining us, you're watching Sunrise at Sea, and this is the lifestyle segment. And this morning, I'm teaching you how to make Christmassy drinks, and I'm teaching you how to make actually the milkshakes. So when my jug is all washed, the first thing you need to do, of course, again, is you have to have your milk. Again, for a milkshake, you cannot do a milkshake without milk. That is why it's called a milkshake. So after having some milkshakes, then you're going to have strawberry syrup. Now it depends. There are people who prefer to use the real strawberries themselves, but for now, for today, we shall use the strawberry syrup. And then we shall have a bit of chocolate syrup. And then, of course, we shall have ice cream. So this is what we are going to do. We're going to have the milk poured in. Now, if you notice, this particular milkshake was not as heavy as I thought it would be. So at this time round, we're going to make sure that this one comes out as heavy as it ought to be. So I'm going to put in very little milk. Yes, this is just enough. Very little milk. See right there. And then we're going to put in the strawberry syrup in there. Just enough. I have someone behind the scenes that is monitoring to make sure I'm doing this to perfection, ladies and gentlemen. Then we're going to have a bit of ice cream. We're going to get the ice cream scoop from the sink. I had used it earlier, so I need to get it washed as well. Now that it's all clean, I'm going to scoop. So this is the second. Okay. So we're putting in the scoops into the blender. This is we're making the mixed berry milkshake this morning. And And you just want to make sure that it is a generous scoop. Don't be mean, unless you're serving people that you do not want to serve. But if you're serving people that you love. Now when that is done, remember our milkshake is going to go in this glass. So again, we need to make a bit of designs, make it look good. So this time around, I'm going to mix a dark chocolate and I'm going to also put in a strawberry color so that it's a mixture of brown and red in there. And red is a Christmas color, Santa Claus. Okay, and that is done. Don't worry, you can be as creative as you want. This one that I'm doing is just for me. No one told me to do it. It's just getting out of my mind. I love the way it looks already. Yes, and after that, I'm going to have this blended together. So, if along the way you actually realize that it is not as thick as it ought to be, you can keep adding in a bit of ice cream. So I'm going to add in, I love ice cream, so I'm going to add in some more ice cream in there. Just a few more scoops and we see how that will turn out. Yes, just 2 more scoops. Ladies and gentlemen, just 2 more. Okay. So we're going to blend it again and see if the final result is what we are all hoping for. Don't be afraid. Okay, I think this has done exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to pour it in the glass. I don't know, are you able to see the red? Okay. This looks amazing. Yes, there we go. And of course, I'm going to add some bit of whipped cream just to give it a final touch. So again, it all goes back to being as creative as possible. I mean, you could even decide to put like a strawberry chip inside there. It all goes back to how creative you are, how much resources you have in your kitchen, how much time you want to spend doing this. You need to make it as Christmassy as possible. It's the season to be jolly. And I'm going to put in a few sprinkles. Just don't add in alcohol. Alcohol is not good for children. Just don't do that. Okay, and when that is done, cheers to life, guys. I don't have a partner, so I'll do this alone. It's amazing. It tastes so good. This is something that you actually do at home. It's something that you can do for your children. It's something that you can do for your family, and it's so nutritious. It has all the goodness packed in there. It's just an amazing way to start your Christmas weekend. So what I did here was basically a milkshake during having it as a home recipe. I mean, if you do not have the milkshake maker, then you can use a blender like me. But if you do, you can actually use this machine and it makes work more easier. Not only does it make work easier, but also it has a role to play when it comes to the thickness of your milkshake. So if you cannot afford this, or if you don't have this in your home, the best you can do is to actually have a blender. But I hope you're able to pick a thing or two, and I hope that you're excited because the festive season is here. And that wraps up what we had for you today on the lifestyle segment. Good morning, and don't blink because we have something coming right after this break.